Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will be doing an in-depth review of IDAS's new DTD filter. I used 2 different telescopes and 3 different cameras. Come on, let's go check out the results. A couple of weeks ago, ICAS, the makers and distributors of IDAS filters, reached out to me after watching one of the review videos that I posted a while back and said, hey, would you like to test out our new daytime or dusk till dawn filter? And I said yes. So they sent me one, and this is it right here. This is their new DTD filter, and comes in their standard nice little carrying case. But I used 3 different style cameras. I used ToupTek's SkyEye62AM. It's their full frame mono camera. I use that, as well as ZWO's ASI6200MC Pro and Player One's Saturn-C SQR. And the reason I used 3 different cameras is because of a couple different reasons, but the 2 big reasons is, one, they're all different makes of cameras, and they all have different lenses inside as far as the windows go. The mono camera does not have an IR cut window, whereas this one does have an IR cut window. This one does not have an IR cut window, but it has a regular AR window. But it's also smaller, and it's also not a cooled deep space camera. This is more of a planetary camera, and it performs very well. But I used my Celestron 11-inch RASA with these 2 cameras to do the initial testing on these 2 cameras. And then I am going to go back and put this on the RASA just to try it, because I've never tried a small camera before, but I used the RedCat 71 for the Player One camera. And weather played a huge factor in all this testing. I had to get it done over multiple nights and a couple of weeks. It was just, we're just having bad weather, and today we're having the remnants of Tropical Storm Chantal or something like that out there right now. So anyway, let's jump into PixInsight and let's check out the results of this filter. So here we are in PixInsight, and let's start looking at the first set of images I started out with. I took 30-second images, then I did 60 seconds, then I did 180, and then I did a 10-minute exposure at the end. So let's see here. We're going to look at the RASA. This is the 6200MC with the DTD filter. Okay. All right. So here it is. This is just a raw filter here. We're going to go ahead and do a quick screen stretch so you can see that. All right. Let's do automatic background extraction. And what I've done is the first 2, I wanted to show you the 30-second with the 6200 and then with no filter. I wanted to show you that the difference between the 2. And then what I've done is I went ahead and did all the background extraction, and so I think that's it, background extraction for these, just to speed it up because there's a lot of files to go through. So I just want to show you, there's the extracted background. Here is our new image. So we're not going to need this one anymore, so make sure I get rid of the right one. All right, so here's the new image. This is the 30-second exposure with the 6200. This is the camera that has the IR cut window. So it's not supposed, this filter was not designed to work on this, but it works. As you can see here, it doesn't work perfectly, but it does work. Just wanted to show you that. So there's that with the filter. Let's put this over here for a second. And let's open up the one, and this is the same one with no filter. There's a screen stretch right there, so there's barely anything there. Let's do the automatic background extraction. We'll put the two together, and you can see the difference of just having no filter and the filter. Just give it just a second to run through its little extraction here, and then we'll move on to the other test. Okay, there we go. All right, so there's the background that it took out. We don't need this anymore, so get rid of that one. And here is the no filter. This is the no filter. This is the filter. Okay. So what we have over here on the right-hand side is no filter, and on the left-hand side is the filter. So you can really see the difference just in the contrast difference in what it's picking up. Let's do a little bit of a zoom in here, and let's make that the same over here. Okay, so now you can really see the difference in having the filter versus no filter. It's not the best test in the world because this camera was not designed to use this type of filter because it has that cut window, but it does work. I wanted to show you that, and there's a reason why. All right, so let's put these back. We don't need these right at the moment. Let's put these in this right spot. So the rest of these, I've already done an automatic background extraction and a screen stretch. So here is a 60-second exposure of the DTD filter with the 6200MC Pro. And here is a 60-second without the filter with the same camera. And as you can see, here is the filter here. Here's no filter. A huge difference. Just a huge difference in using this filter with what shows up with using no filter. You can just barely make the line out with no filter over here. You can just barely make out the wall, the dust clouds, and over here you can clearly see it. Big difference there. All right, there's that. And let's go with the 180. So there's the 180 with the filter. And here is a 180 without the filter. Now again, remember I've only done dynamic background extraction and just a screen stretch to these. That's all I've done. It's just a single image, so there's no stacking, there's no calibration frames, none of that. But look at the difference. It's pretty good difference. I would say that if I owned just a color camera and it had the IR cut window, which most of them do, I would definitely want to have this IDAS DTD filter because there's a huge difference with the filter, without the filter. So the left over here is no filter. This is the filter. Let's bring them both up, and you can see there's a really good, well-defined image there, and it's just kind of like a blah image over there. So there's a huge difference. So for those of you who are wondering, will this filter work with an IR cut window color camera? Yes, it will, but it's not designed for it. Okay, so that's with the filter, without the filter. Now, for comparison on what IDAS's filters normally do, here is an MBZ2 filter. This is an MBZ2 filter. This is the 30-second go. Now, I'm not comparing the MBZ filter to the DTD filter because they're two totally different filters. The MBZ2 filter is a dual band, and the DTD is a tri-band filter, but totally designed differently. So, but I just wanted to show you the comparison between the two. So if you already owned one, or you were going to buy, you could, if you were going to buy one or the other, here's a good example of it. So this is a 30-second with the MBZ. Here's a 30-second. Let's get these windows tiled out so you can see the difference. So the MBZ filter, clearly the winner here, because it was designed to work with a color camera with the IR cut window. Okay, so the DTD filter is being cut back. It's being throttled back, if you will, by X amount of percent. I don't know what that is, but I just wanted to show you that there is a difference there. Let's go with a 180 and a 180. Sorry, stand by here, just with these windows tiled. So there's a huge difference in the contrast, but in the detail, if you get down to the nuts and bolts of it, there's quite a bit of detail there that's still prevalent from the DTD filter and the IDAS MBZ2 filter. Clearly, the IDAS MBZ is the winner for the color camera because of the filter. I mean, because of the IR window that's there, and that's blocking the DTD, but it still does amazing results. I just wanted to show you the difference of what it can do on a color camera. Okay, so now we have those. And what this is this is a 10-minute image of the same NGC 7000 North American Nebula. This is just a 10-minute image where I've done, it's only just a screen stretch and blur exterminator and dynamic background extraction. But I wanted to show you that as an example of what a 10-minute image would look like. And that's what it would look like on that same camera. And it turned out very well. That's a really amazing image. And what we have here is, this is the stacked image. Nothing done to it, just stacked blur exterminator and automatic background extraction. There's nothing done to it. So this is, at the end of the video, I'll go back and tell you how many it is. It's 2 or 3 hours maybe. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it performed outstanding. I mean, look at the detail in there. For a filter that's not designed to work on this camera, it did one hell of a job. I give it 2 thumbs up on a camera that it wasn't designed for. All right, so there we have that. And I'll just show you the starless image so you could see that if you wanted to. But there is the starless image. It turned out quite nice. I like that one. The wispiness, the contrast, the detail in there. And if it was on a camera, that would have allowed more of a percentage of the filter to do its job, it would have been outstanding. All right, so there's that. Now, that's the color camera. Let's roll right into the mono side here. Let's look at the mono side, and then we'll come back and look at the Player One side of the house on how it did with that. All right, let's look at, here is the, this is the SkyEye, the ToupTek SkyEye62AM mono camera. And I'm using the DTD as a luminance filter, but I had to compare it to another luminance filter. So this is the Optics luminance filter. This is a 60-second 60-second exposure with the luminance filter of Optics. And here is a 60-second exposure of the DTD, using it as a luminance filter. So let's compare these two. So over here on the left-hand side is the DTD filter over here, and this is the Optics. And as you can see, it has at 60 seconds. I think that there is a clear winner here with the contrast, and just looking at the arm of this little nebulosity inside this wall here, the contrast difference between that and these clouds here. And then if we were to scroll down, let's zoom out just a little bit and get zoomed in on this little area here. You can definitely tell this is kind of washed out. The Optilong filter is kind of washed out, and the DTD contrast has really boosted it up, and which this filter is designed to do is boost the contrast. So I think it did very well there. Clear winner in my mind. All right, so here's a 180. Let's get this tiled out. This is a 182nd 3-minute image, and again on the left hand side is the DTD. Oh, sorry about that, y'all. Well, if I just quit going so far, there we go. All right, again, Optilong is on the right, IDAS DTD is on the left, and this as a luminance filter, I think, as you can see, is a very clear winner here. Just the difference in the 3-minute image, it's more clear, it's more contrast, it's more well defined in just about all of the areas. I think that's a huge difference. All right, that's the 180. And let's go with 10-minute images here. All right, so now this time it put the DTD on the right-hand side. So this is the DTD on the right-hand side. This is the Optilong. Look right here in this area right here. You can see where the DTD did a really good job of just cutting through and really bringing out all of the nice detail inside of this image versus the Optilong filter. Not trying to pick on Optilong at the moment, but I had to have something to compare it to. But look at the difference in the luminance filter side of the house, as where in this area right here, it's just kind of washed out, whereas in the DTD filter, it looks amazing. So from here on out, in my mind, when I'm going to be shooting mono, I'm going to be, instead of using my Optilong luminance filter, I'm going to be using the IDAS DTD filter for my luminance side of the house, just because I think it does an incredible job. A totally different view of that 10-minute image is different. I wish I had, the difference in between the two is amazing. I wish I would have had a stacked image. The weather was just horrible. It was just horrible, and I just barely made it through this part. But I still think for your luminance filter, you can't beat it. It's going to be the luminance filter of choice for me, I know, for a long time, until something else comes out that's going to, one-up it, so to speak. But there it is. There's your 10-minute image of a luminance filter. Just a huge difference, complete huge difference there. All right, let's get it set up and look at the files for the Player One Saturn and see how it did. This is the Player One 32nd with the DTD filter. Here is a Player One with no filter 32nds. Let's get these windows tiled up. And what we have here is I went ahead and did the the dynamic background extraction from SETI Astro and just did a screen stretch. So over here on the left is the no filter, and over here on the right is the DTD filter on the Player One camera. So this one has an AR window in it, anti-reflective window, so it allows the filter to work properly on it. This is the only color camera that I've got that has this type of window on it. And as you can see, there's not too big of a difference here, but there's a little bit. Not a whole lot at 30 seconds. This is also the RedCat 71 that I should mention, and that is also a slower speed, so the results are going to be a lot less at 4.8, I think, or 4.7. I can't remember exactly what the RedCat is versus the RASA at 2.1 or 2.2. All right, so there's 30 seconds. Here is 60 seconds. Let's get these things tiled up here. All right, so no filter on the left, and there is DTD on the right. Now, I can start to see here, I know it might be hard on your screen, but I can definitely start to make out some real good red in here, all around, in through here, in through this area. I can see some here, just not as much. It's not popping out as much. Maybe if I did a blur exterminator or something on it, might be able to see a bit better. There's 60 seconds. And let's do a 180 and a 180 here. All right, let's get these tiled up. And on the right-hand side is the DTD filter, and on the left-hand side is the no filter. And there's a clear winner here. With the 180 second image, I can really see the dust and the nebulosity starting to really show up. And over here, you can see that there's color, but it's not a lot of great deal. While we're doing this, let's do something here just to see if we can make this a little bit better. Let's run the thing of blur exterminator on both of them real quick and see what happens. But I really think that the DTD filter does a great job in handling this. I think that made a pretty good difference there. There definitely looks like there's more color all around, and the contrast is definitely a lot more. So it works. This is just a smaller camera and a slower scope, but it shows that it will work on multiple types of cameras and multiple types of scopes. All right, let's finish this up and see you back for final thoughts. All right, so that was a quick in-depth review of the DTD IDAS DTD filter. I got some notes that I wrote down and I wanted to go over, and just as I said earlier, that finished or that stacked image was 3.6 hours. It was 22 10-minute stacked images. The Dusk Till Dawn filter, it's their IDAS's new tri-band filter. It covers HA, O3, and the NIR, which is the near infrared. It's great for areas in light pollution. It's useful on nebulae, galaxies, comet trails. It boosts and enhances contrast, and it improves the blue channel. And it also is useful in mono, where it boosts the contrast, enhances the fine layers of dust lanes, as you saw in the comparison that we had with the Optilong versus the Optilong luminance filter versus the DTD as a luminance filter. So there is one issue that people are reporting, and I didn't see it too much. There's one little small halo, as is with some filters have halos with different wavelengths. The DTD filter, people are reporting halos with certain camera sensors. Didn't have any issues with the halo on the Saturn here, the Player One. Didn't really see any halo issues with this. There was a small halo while using it as a luminance filter, which that might be expected because there's no IR cut window there to cut down some of that star bloating. So just be aware of that, that you may run into some halos with the filter, but I didn't really see it a problem in the test that I did on these 3 cameras with those 2 scopes. Now I'm going to go back and do some more testing and try to get another camera with a AR window instead of an IR cut window. But I think as you saw in the results, I think that this IDAS Dusk Till Dawn filter is going to be one of the top filters of use for this winter coming up, for my choice anyway. And it will definitely be my top choice for luminance. And I can't wait to have some clear skies to put this thing into another round of testing. But my final thoughts is that I think it's a great filter. I think it's going to definitely be useful for a new luminance filter, and it's going to be. I don't want to give away anything that I'm working on, but I will say that I've been working on a little project of my own here. I use GoPros a lot, and GoPro, I hope you're watching, and IDAS, if you're watching this video, and even Optilong. But I am trying to 3D print. I 3D print a lot of stuff, and I'm trying to design a new filter holder for, I can't, let's see here. Well, this one's on kind of tight, but you can pop these off and put new filters on. And what I want to do is I'm trying to design I don't want to have to pop this off all the way, but I want to be able to take this round holder and put it on my GoPro here and use it when I'm capturing the Milky Way, because there are reports that this filter works great. There's some images out there where people are using this DTD filter for galaxies, galaxies and Milky Way. And I want to try maybe putting it on the DSLR and trying to see if it'll work that way. But I can't wait to do some more testing on it. But for right now, I'd have to say that this DTD filter is 2 thumbs up in my book. And I really appreciate, I really want to say thank you to ICAS, the makers of IDAS, for sending out this filter for us. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I also want to say thank you to Dan over at Astroworld Telescopes. If you need anything filter related, camera related, telescope related, or advice related, check out Dan over at astroworldtelescopes.com, and then also check out Astroworld Web and look at Astroworld TV on Wednesdays at 8, Fridays at 8. Come on the show there, ask your questions in the chat, and if they can't answer it, somebody in the chat will be able to answer it. But I just want to say thank you again. I really appreciate it. Can't wait to do some more testing on this filter. And until then, thank you for watching, and clear skies.